And here we go, it says, and I don't know if anybody's there. Maybe somebody's there, maybe
Two
not.
people. Hello
Oh,
to the two people that are watching.
Two people are there so far, as we are no longer in the office. We are now in the Open by Chance lounge, which is still not quite ready.
No, but I mean, it's
we're
what we
working
got.
on it. We're working on it.
Yeah.
We're getting things together.
Mhm.
We're getting the lounge is almost ready. The collection room 1 is almost ready.
Hey, Pastor Rick.
Pastor Rick is here.
And John. And Frank and Frog. Thank you all for joining us this day after 4th of July.
Yeah, day after the 4th of July. So we got the lounge, which is actually a pretty big room. This is a big room. Then the collection room 1, collection room 2, and then collection room 3. But 2 and 3 are a ways off. And collection room 1 is almost ready. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's a lot of work because, you put things up and then it doesn't quite work or it doesn't quite fit. And then you're like, oh, I don't know if this is going to do right. And then you pull down what you put up and then you change your mind and you think you got it right. And then you figured out that you don't. And it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. I'm getting there though. We're close, and we've done a couple of updates. We've done a couple of updates, and
I didn't ready to put that up yet.
Oh,
go ahead.
We've done a couple of updates, and then there's this room, and we're working on it. You see all the video game stuff behind us, and there's some DVDs behind us. Frank and Frog wish they had a room like that for the DVDs.
So you got a big DVD collection.
DVD collection, yeah.
I know. I've seen a lot of video on YouTube of people's DVD collection, and their DVD
that's getting to be a thing
gigantic
now, especially as the world is trying to move away from physical media.
And I've said this before. I do like that on streaming platforms, you don't have to switch out discs, and it helps you to keep track of where you are. Because if you got a DVD, then you got to okay, which DVD, where did I leave off? Mm-hmm. Sometimes the episode, if it's episodes, like TV episodes, sometimes the episodes are on the disc, sometimes it's somewhere else, But I believe in physical media, DVDs, CDs, records, books, physical books. I believe in all that, but I'm not opposed to if it's on a streaming platform and it's free to watch. I don't mind. Now, some of them got like a million commercials. That's when it get kind of tedious. And even the ones that didn't start off with commercials, like Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, now they got all these commercials, and it's like, what are you paying for? You're paying. I thought you were paying to not watch commercials.
Yeah.
And now we're watching commercials. So
that's the big lie, and I've talked about that a bunch of times because I'm old enough to remember that. I'm old enough to remember. Oh, you're reading ahead.
No, well, that's not ahead. It's like right there. I put it up, but I didn't look at it yet. Now I'm just looking at it.
I'm old enough to remember the promise that was broken very quickly from cable companies when that was starting to become a thing in the late 70s, early 80s. And the advertisement on TV, and I'll quote you, paraphrase maybe, but quote you. And
hey, pop culture is in Sydney, here. Australia.
Yeah. He said the room looks so different. It looks great. Different room. It's a new room. The commercial basically said television where you'll never see a commercial because you pay for it. That was, I believe, that was the slogan of the original cable companies when they were coming into Boston and they were first putting up the coaxial cables, stringing them up on the telephone poles for the first time and trying to wire up apartment buildings and all that. Okay. And
thank you, Pastor Rick.
Pastor Rick made a donation.
We really appreciate it.
Our felines, all the help we can get with our shelter cats.
Now we got a new one since we've moved.
Yes, another one turned up, and that was, I'll tell that story in a minute.
Okay,
for people who haven't heard it before.
Your cable.
That was the promise. and give it a couple of years, and they started sneaking commercials in there. And then they divided it. You had the regular cable, and then you had the tier cable, and then that commercials got into that too. And then they made the same promise with satellite radio.
Yes.
Oh, you'll never hear. Oh, you're paying for satellite radio.
Yes.
You'll never hear it. Yeah, there's ads now.
Yeah.
I just get so sick and tired of that.
Yeah.
I'm tired of people advertising to us constantly. I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt used to campaign against billboards. Because she said even then, people don't want to see advertisements constantly in their face everywhere they go. I don't want to see billboards everywhere. And yeah, look where we are now. Eleanor Roosevelt's probably spinning in her grave.
But billboards are easy to ignore because you have to be in your car driving and you have to pay attention to them. The thing that get me with billboards now, why I think they're a sham now, is because you got the ones that are in motion. So by the time you see an ad, you passed it before you get to see the whole thing or the next one. You know what I mean? It's not up, but when you got the static ones, at least you can kind of read the whole thing as you come up.
You shouldn't be doing it anyway.
I know. Because it's too distracting, and you already got enough distractions with your cell phone and the radio and the cars around you. Hey, Jesse.
Jesse Say What has joined us. And the cats, yes. And I talked about this before because we moved and I've been transplanting the cats. People are still asking me, what about the cats you guys take care of? We're bringing them, okay? I've been rounding them up. There's just one left. He won't let me get near him. He's probably scared, but I can't get near him. There's one left, and I've been trying, but I've been transplanting them here. Renard says there's another Smurfs movie coming.
Yeah, I've seen the ad for it. I'm not going to see it. I haven't seen any of the Smurf movies. I
saw the first one. It was okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't, I haven't seen the others.
I don't care about things like that.
That's how I lost some in the first place. But they're all back now. It was the three that ran away. It was Hobo, Dad, and Pinky. Pinky is a young cat. She got loose and ran, and Hobo and Dad went after her because Hobo and Dad are really chill. They'll just sit there. If I'm there, they'll stay put. But they ran after her, and I'm like, oh crap, and I couldn't catch them. And they were missing for days. And Hobo and Dad turned up like 9 days later on a Friday evening. Hobo set off the doorbell camera. And so Hobo and Dad are out there, and I'm like, where's Pinky? There's another cat. It's not her. It's this gray thing that now hangs around outside the house. I'm like, so you ditched Pinky and you come back with this girl because it's a female. But Pinky did turn up. She turned up 13 days later. She came running out of the woods. But so now there's this extra cat that's hanging around, and I've been looking at her, and she looks to me a little wide. And pregnant. I'm like, oh no, is she have babies? Is she going to have babies?
She need to move on with that.
Oh no, which I've been through this before. Do you remember the feral cat like last year who turned up in our woodpile and gave birth to 5, which I had to treat their eyes. Remember, their eyes had an infection.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad they'll die like that if somebody that can't help them. It's true.
Yeah, I heard that Rihanna's voice is Smurfette.
Oh, please.
Yeah, they're just going through.
Anybody.
Hey, Logic Blaster. Love the channel. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Logic Blaster says they love the channel. We appreciate it. We try.
Yeah.
We try. We just want to, we just sharing.
We try to put out good content. We haven't really put out like content in a while because we've been moving. Yeah. So we've been doing a lot of shorts, just showing like the updates in the room.
Well, not shorts, but short videos.
Well, yeah, short videos.
Yeah.
And then the live streams. And of course, the roundup.
I don't like doing the shorts really too much. I don't like messing with that much. I know that YouTube really pushes for it. And a lot of people think that that's a good way to get their channel jumped off. But it can backfire on you with the shorts. Well, the thing is with the shorts, you're going to get 3 million views within, if you can get 3 million views in 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Uncle Fun.
Hey, Uncle Fun.
3 million views in 90 days. They'll monetize your channel.
Oh, wow.
But you've got to maintain that. So there's a million videos on YouTube, people complaining they got monetized and then kicked out 2 weeks later, because you sometimes if you do enough shorts, one might go viral, and you might do that.
Yeah,
but you can't maintain it.
But how much of your soul do you have to sell?
I don't know.
Yeah, to get monetized.
Yeah, but with the regular videos, it's 300 watchable hours in a year, which you could do that with regular videos.
Yeah,
and that's plausible.
Yeah,
and but I don't like messing with the shorts too much, anyways. But the regular content, I mean, this really just started off as a way to just share with people, reach out to people, find like-minded individuals, talk about the different hobbies, of which we have a few. I haven't done anything on video games in a long time.
Yeah.
But the video games, the comic books, the vintage toys, vintage magazines, vinyl records, all that kind of stuff. We just love it. Uncle Fun said 10 million shorts to get monetized. Yeah. And then they tell you, oh, well, that'll lead to people watching the regular videos. No. Somebody who sits there looking at 15-second shorts all day, they're not going to watch a long form video. Pop said too many shorts are really annoying. They bug me. Long form is what I prefer. Okay, I totally understand that, because I don't want to watch a bunch of shorts either.
No. And then they lengthen the shorts from 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. Now they're up to 3 minutes.
Yeah, you can get a 3-minute
short.
So
it's like, even YouTube knows that 15-second shorts isn't doing anything.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do a 3-minute, if you're going to do a full 3-minute short, you might as well do a 5-minute video. Seriously. And then put that up, and then people, you can get your mind across, or your thoughts across, to people a lot more easily. Frankenfrog said the shorts I upload get a ton of views. I haven't gained a single subscriber from them. There you go. There you go.
And then when you watch it, it's hard to get to, even like, I don't really watch it on the phone that much. If I watch a short, it's on the TV. But it's too hard to kind of like give you the thumbs up, read the comments and all of that, because it scrolls by so quick. So it's
not very interactive.
No,
basically.
I'd rather watch just a full-length video.
Yeah.
If somebody sat down, took the time, even if you don't edit, you still sat there, you talked about something, you put out your full thought. And I mean, yeah, you can put out a full thought in 3 minutes, but I'd rather just sit down and watch a full video. Yeah.
Uncle Fun said, I'm a short channel. I'm at 8.5 million in 2 months. Views or dollars?
Yeah. So he does a lot of shorts.
He does a lot of shorts.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I was just saying, that could backfire. That can backfire on a lot of people. Oh, and speaking of vinyl, I mentioned the vinyl. If you saw the weekly roundup yesterday, weekly roundup, most exciting thing on there was vinyl records. Because, and Brad has joined us. There's Brad.
Hey, Brad Underwood.
Good evening, everyone. The SDCC has got together, and they're a punk band. I believe they're a punk. Oh, is it a punk or a metal band?
Metal band.
Metal band that is can cosplay as Cold Slither from a Raw era G.I. Joe. Greatest
from that
American
episode,
hero.
Cold
from
Slither
the episode Cold Slither. They cosplay as Zartan and the Dreadnoughts, and sing Cold Slither and 10 other songs that they wrote that fit with the Raw era. And they have an album called Cold Slither, and it's like, that's amazing. And they're gonna do a performance, and it's $40 a ticket, and they're selling records, they're selling t-shirts, and I heard also there's a third version of the album in green.
Yeah. So they got a gray, green, and a red
transparent vinyl. And I'm like,
hey, Robert.
Robert's here. No, we're late. That is probably the one of, if not the most interesting things that SDCC has done as a side event. I'm like, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's
That is
some
really
great
brilliant.
marketing.
Raw's really hot, right? Especially right now. People are really into it. People always have loved G.I. Joe from the 60s through the 90s. And that, yeah, I'm like, there's a lot of people that'll resonate with. And it's the only real song. Uncle asked if there's a Transformer cosplay band. I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know. But the band that they got, excuse me, that they got to play Cold Slither are actual artists.
Yeah, they're real musicians.
Yeah, they're
So,
real musicians. They brought them together to form the band. And they're going to do a concert. They got t-shirts, CDs, posters, records. I ordered the record because I
yeah.
really wanted that. I want the poster. Hey Johnny. Johnny's
here.
on his way to work.
Oh, poor Johnny.
Johnny's always on his way to work.
He's got to afford all those autographs. John,
Yeah,
we know Johnny.
Johnny's a autograph king.
Yeah, we know Johnny, and he's got a lot of really interesting autographs.
Yeah.
Uncle says they're on YouTube dressed like Transformers. I don't think I've seen that.
I never saw that one.
But I'm like, yeah, that is a brilliant idea. I like that. I would like to see that. I don't care about the rest of SDCP, honestly. These shows are no longer what they're cracked up to be.
Yeah.
I've talked about that a lot, especially after what happened with Bud Plant, Bud Plant Comics. The guy, one of the originators from SDCC, one of the original, like an SDCC alumnus, if you will, 48 years in a row, wanted to retire at 50, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it because he said 2 more years and I just can't do it because it's just too damn expensive. Nobody buys comics. It's no longer a comic show.
Yeah.
I can't pay like $5,000-6,000 for a table.
Hey,
Retro Styles joined us. $5,000 or $6,000 for a table, and not make any money. It's just not worth it. But he wanted to make it around 50 and retire, but he had to drop it at 48. I felt bad for the guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not that kind of show anymore. It's been taken over. It's been taken over by a larger conglomerate that buys out shows and retrofits them. It's more like a fan expo.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of cosplay and celebrities talking on stage, which is fine, but you're calling it a Comic Con and it's not anymore.
Well, I guess because they still got the Comic Con there. Hey, Blue Splash, how are you?
Has joined us.
But yeah, I think it should be totally separate. You should have the fanfare, I guess, where you have your because that's when they always promote new movies that are coming out, TV shows, and they show trailers. And then the big companies usually show some stuff that they have coming out, like Sideshow and things like that. They usually show what's coming up. But then I think on a totally different day or a totally different venue, they should have your Comic-Con people where you have real vendors selling actual merchandise to real customers, people that actually want the stuff.
And don't burn them out on table prices, because then they gotta do crazy markup. Nobody's gonna buy their stuff. It's if you price them out with table prices, then they're defeated. I mean, what are they going to do? How are they going to make their money? I'm starting to hear that complaint about Kane County. Actually, prices are going up and up and up. It's getting more expensive. Warren won't do the shows anymore.
Really?
Yeah, he says he'll go there and poke around, like especially the parking lot sale is usually a pretty good deal. But the last 2 years, he hasn't done the Kane County anymore, because he was like, for what they charge versus the level of
thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Robert made a donation to the channel, helping us out with our shelter cats.
He didn't say it was for the cats.
Well, I'm assuming it's for the shelter cats, because we take care of a bunch of them. But he was like, with the level of competition, the high prices, the cost, the rules that they have to contend with, it's it just wasn't worth it anymore. He'd rather go there and look around and just do every other show.
Yeah, pop culture says it's the same in Sydney. It's just con and name only.
Wow.
Just to get people, because they can identify with, and when you say Comic Con, oh yeah, I can go cosplay and stand in the front of people booths so everybody else can't get by.
We've heard many vendors complain about that.
But
The
it is true.
cosplayers,
They
they don't buy anything.
They just stand in the middle of the walkway and you can't get by. And no, and you have to say, excuse me, and everything is loud. So you got to, excuse me, kind of nudge them for them to even get it. Oh, I'm standing in the way. Then they'll move over in the way,
block somebody else.
else. And it's like, hey Casey, how are
Casey's
you?
joined us.
So that part makes it kind of weird, but that's why we try to get to the shows early before the cosplayers come in, so that we can film. Because if you're on time or get there a little late, you already got to deal with the actual customers.
Yeah.
But if you have to deal with cosplayers, they're just standing there.
Unless they're professionals, like at the last Joe Fest, they had the troupe who does the GI Joe costumes, and they know what to do.
Yeah,
they're not like just milling around.
Yeah,
they know what to do so that they're not obstructing any of the vendors.
But some of the people get it too, because like at the Joe Fest, they had a guy dressed as the Michael Keaton Batman. He looked good in the suit. Everybody stopped that guy. He couldn't take a step. Hey Batman, can I get a picture? And he stopped, and wherever they are in the middle of the floor, you got that selfie going up. And his wife and kids are just like laughing at first, but you can tell they're like, God, I just want to walk just down this aisle. Every step that guy takes, somebody was stopping him, taking pictures. But I mean, but that's what you dressed like that, so you knew what was coming.
I had some people take some selfies with me at the Joe Fest.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I wonder what happens to those pictures, though.
Yeah.
I think, what do you do? Hey, can I get a selfie with you? My wife won't believe that you're here. And I'm like, who the hell am I? It's like you just bumped into Tom Cruise or something. I'm the king of toys. That's what it is. The king of toys.
I don't know where we're going next, Robert.
ATL Comic Con.
Oh, yeah.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, the ATL Comic Con, and which is a 3-day event, and we got passes.
Yeah. That's the only reason we go.
They gave us, although I'll try to get as early as I can, it's not a press pass. They gave us
influencer badge.
Yeah, like I think that's what it is, an influencer badge, social media influencer badge.
Yeah.
So we can go all 3 days, but I think we have to come in with the crowd.
Oh, okay.
Where when we get the press passes, like at Toylanta, Joelanta, stuff like that, I can get in early, and we get there like maybe an hour ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because that way I can film through the tour, because I'll do it live. I'll film through the tour without everybody being in the way, which I kind of ran into a little issue with that with Joe Fest, the last show that we did, because the crowd was already there.
Yeah.
But we couldn't get there any earlier. And it's not anything against Joe Fest. We just couldn't get there any earlier.
Yeah.
But I prefer to tour ahead of the crowd if I can.
Yeah. I was going to film on my Instagram at Joe Fest, but I seen too many people, so I opt not and just
took pictures of the hall,
my hall. That's cool.
Well, that's all right. Whatever you need, whatever you're comfortable with, or you feel like you need to do. But yeah, I'm getting more into doing it as a live walkthrough now, instead of bringing it back and editing it and then putting it up sometimes days after the show. This way at least you can see it, and it does actually influence some people, especially at the last the Joe Lanta and the previous Toylanta. People are like, hey, I saw that walkthrough and I saw something and I came to specifically look for that item. So it is helpful.
Yeah, it is.
It is helpful. I try. So there you go. But anyways, and I have the crown. The crown is here. The crown is actually sitting on our on our little
Somebody
table.
had said earlier, I don't know if they was joking. I think it was John McJunkin. So it was probably a joke.
A black Captain America?
Yeah, the black captain, the female Captain America. I don't know if that's you guys, John McJunkin. He probably was joking.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's where we're at now with all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Marvel and DC looks like they'll just do anything.
Yeah.
Frankenfrog likes the walkthroughs. I appreciate that. Robert wants to know, is this the place you do all the videos from this point, or will it be different? We can move it. You know, we could right now we're in the media room, or media room, the lounge as we're calling it, because because the other room is just not ready.
Yeah.
But when it is ready, we could set up in there. And Tiashi, is that correct? Tiachi has joined us. Glad you could make it today. But yeah, I mean, we could potentially do that. As you well know, the last couple of times that we did a live, we had to do it from the office upstairs because there was just nothing going on down here. We weren't ready.
Yeah, we didn't have anything set up.
There was nothing back there. So that's how it is. But then again, now we are able to move down here and you can see part of the lounge, or we could move this to a different position so that you can see different parts of the lounge. Or again, Toy Room 1 will be ready soon, and then we'll get to work on the others, because there's 4 interconnected rooms that we'll be working with.
So it's a work in progress, and we're getting there slowly but surely. We are getting there.
I got Santa set up though.
Oh.
She didn't see it.
No, I did not. Now I see it.
Oh no, she didn't. Uncle noticed the lunch boxes. Yes, I put some of the lunch boxes.
Oh yeah,
in here with my video games. Those are the complete. I have a couple that are complete. No posters yet.
Not
Robert.
yet.
Not yet. We'll get
We do
there.
have a lot of posters. We just got to put some stuff up, but we still got to paint. We haven't got the room almost together.
Raccoon has joined us.
Hey, Raccoon Eyes, how are you?
This is Space 1999. That's Buck Rogers. And that one is Cadillacs and Dinosaurs with the thermoses. That Cadillacs and Dinosaurs one is really rare. You don't see that one. John is protesting Comic-Con ever since they said the Stretch Armstrong action figure was better than Mego Toys action figure or Ralph Malph. Oh, Ralph Malph or Mego? Well, the thing, Stretch Armstrong is pretty cool, but he does deteriorate. He does deteriorate. Blue Splash got a Raw Joe's he hasn't had since he was a kid at the Joe Fest. That's good. Yeah, yes. Frankenfrog. Santa's over here. Let me see if I can. See, there's Santa next to the newspaper rack. That's our vintage newspaper rack that we found. And there's Santa standing on the fireplace. That's a good place for him.
Yeah.
I figure, yeah, he'd be safe there. And he's holding a vintage. Look at this. Hold on, let me grab it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, here we go. This is what Santa was holding. Do you remember these? And it's still sealed. This one's from the 70s. That is, the little, I don't know how, is there a lot of glare on that?
Yeah, there's a lot of glare.
Yeah. It's that little cheap stocking with it. It's like felt on the back and plastic in the front, and it's full of garbage. It's like these little crappy toys, little junk toys with the strap. Sometimes they were like a net mesh. This is what
and it was full of rat toys and junk and just candy.
It's junk. Sometimes it would be candy. And they did Easter baskets like this too. The Easter basket would be massive. It looked like it's 4 feet tall, and you're like, oh my God. And there's like 3 things in there and a bunch of grass and a big piece of cardboard. And it's just trash. But
and it had those plastic eggs.
Yeah, plastic eggs and like a Tootsie Roll and a Frisbee or some garbage.
Blue Fat said he got that stuff on Whatnot.
Okay, Whatnot auction.
And Tachi said you pronounce it THC.
Okay.
How you pronounce it?
I see.
So you said no modern, but it looks like they're making good stuff.
Like the Marshall Grave Store, Thundercats.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
That
of it.
mask does look good.
Yeah, I like what they're doing with the mask actually, and then I also like what Big Bad Toy Store was doing, or Big Bad Workshop
Mhm.
with the cops, trying to bring cops back. But yeah,
Yeah, I prefer the toy shows and the comic shows, the like local stuff,
hmm
over the big ones, because it seems like when you have, and Casey was saying that when you have the big shows like the San Diego and the Atlanta and the New York and the one in, I think it's WizardCon in Chicago, it seems to be overpriced. And because it's overpriced, the tables are a lot, so the vendors got to charge a lot, and it's just all of that extra hassle, and it seems like you don't get a good deal. But when it's something local and small, it seems like you can get a better deal. Hey, Uncarded, there is a new
Uncarded has joined us.
Superman in
Oh, the
town.
movie. Yeah,
It comes out next week, I think.
does it?
I think
I
so.
don't know. They went nuts. We showed that a couple of weeks ago
Mhm.
with the theater exclusives. It's like, you got to be kidding.
Mhm.
Robert likes the old weird stockings. They're
Yeah.
hard. Those are hard to find now.
Hey, K Munin, how
Cam
are
Newton
you?
has joined us. Yeah, those are really hard to find now. Those
Mhm.
old stockings,
You
or
can find them on eBay.
yeah, in onesie twosies. But then
Yeah.
or vintage Easter basket
Them
that's
Easter
that's
baskets
unopened.
are hard to find.
Ryan says STC is great for toy reveals and setups.
Yeah, that's what they're good for, to tell you what's coming up. And the New York Toy Fair is good for that. Those big shows are good
Mhm.
for
For reveals,
reveals.
yeah.
But to buy something,
Yeah, if you're
mm-mm.
looking, yeah, if you're
Hey,
looking to
Saturday
buy,
morning.
he says our local once a year con is a mix of toy show and Comic Con, able to find 80s GI Joes for $5.
That's nice.
But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for, if you're interested in seeing vintage comics, vintage toys, things like that, you don't have too much luck at those.
Hmm.
Blue Splash got Munsters and VR Troopers. I've got some VR Troopers on the card.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're still pretty affordable actually. A lot of those 90s ones are. A lot of those 90s ones are.
Mm-hmm.
Robert prefers Chris Reeve and George Reeves.
But he said he's still going to go see it. Are you going to actually go out to the movie theater, Robert, and sit down and watch it? Or are you going to wait till it come out on DVD?
I'll give them credit for one thing.
But
The interview with the actor
yeah,
who's playing Superman. No politics, no BS, just an appreciation for the character. He likes Superman, and he said so, and he said as much. And he was like, if I do nothing else,
mm-hmm.
you know, I would take the part.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get to be Superman, and I think that's just fantastic. He actually likes what he's doing.
Yeah, and he said if he do nothing else, he glad he did that.
Yeah, and he's not, injecting socio-political nonsense into it like most of these other actors do now. It's
Or
frustrating.
calling people racist because they already paying in the film before they even seen it.
Yeah.
So that's always cool. I don't know what a persona figure is.
Munit's talking about a persona figure.
I think he's talking about anime. Migo Matt is here.
Yeah, he says he remembers the 70s McDonald's gift certificates were the hottest stocking stuffers. Yes, and in the 80s also, and also on Halloween, because they would do the same thing on Halloween so that you could give away gift certificates instead of candy. And those are a big deal. Free fries, free shake, whatever.
Yeah. Let them spend $60.
$600 for SDCC tickets, and tell me what's new coming out. I'll sit on the couch.
I know that's right.
Yeah, because everybody's going to review it.
Yeah. When is this? It's like in 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, Uncle Funny says he has ticket. Oh, are you talking about Superman? I have tickets. I'm going Thursday at 2.
Yeah, because now with the movies,
film?
You pre-order your tickets like you would at a concert or a theater, like a play.
Yes, like a play.
You pre-order it. I thought that was weird. That's the new thing now. Instead of just walking up there, you sitting at home. Oh man, we ain't got nothing to do. It's still early. Let's go catch a movie.
Yeah.
Then you drive out there, you walk up, buy your tickets, and just walk in. No, you gotta do it online, pick your seats, and pre-order it weeks in advance.
spend $80 on a popcorn bucket. Do you
Mm-mm.
get the popcorn for free, or do you have to buy the
Oh
popcorn
God, that's a
separate?
question.
Yeah, I mean,
Ooh.
so are you buying the bucket separately, or does it come filled? I have no idea.
Mm-mm.
I'm
Mm-mm.
literally throwing it out there. If anybody's done this, I know Lou has,
Ugh.
but he's not here right now, or else Lou could answer that
Ugh.
question.
Oh, Japanese video game
Yeah,
franchise.
Munin says it's a yeah. Munin,
Figures look
and the
atrocious.
figures are terrible.
Yeah, he says that McFarlane is doing it. Hey, nerd.
Yeah, Nerd has joined us.
Mhm.
Thanks, McFarlane.
You can still walk in, but that trend is all about pre-order now.
Yeah.
Oh
And
gosh.
Saturday morning said, miss the old fast food glasses based on movies.
Mhm.
Shame many of them can't be drunk out of safely today. Yeah, that was a big thing all through the really the
Oh,
this
separate and unlimited free pop. So you can buy it separate or
or
pay a little bit more and get
get
unlimited
popcorn.
free popcorn.
I see. Okay,
Boy,
that's
how much is
interesting.
that extra? So you're gonna pay $80 for the
$80 for a
bucket,
popcorn bucket.
and then you're gonna pay the price of probably the large popcorn, which is what, $10? I don't know how much is a
Saturday
large.
morning says they're free at his AMC.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
Okay. So I guess it depends on the theater.
Yes. I have no idea. I liked the Herbie because I thought that was really cool. I thought, that looks like a big toy to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Herbie. And I remember Herbie from the 60s or the 70s cartoon version.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to I'm not going to go out and get one. Casey said the Dallas Fort Worth Joe show was great. Wife bought Super Joe Bad Guy Gore. That's cool. Those Super Joes are hard to collect because the 8-inch GI Joes from the late 70s, because the joints are bad on them and they deteriorate.
Yeah. Though well, I still don't understand that trend. I kind of do, but I feel that is stupid. But I know it's only the people that are speculative buyers.
Oh, buying the comic because Munin's talking about people buying the first appearance of Crypto.
Yeah, because if you're a true fan, doesn't matter what the TV show or the movie does.
Yeah.
Because you are a true fan and you read it probably years ago when it was nothing, and you're fine with it tanking. You know what I mean?
And a real comic collector knows to buy when the market is cold.
Yeah.
Not when it's hot.
Oh, okay. Uncle bought the
Deadpool
Wolverine bucket. Dead
bucket. Dead bucket. Oh, Migo misses the old movie magazines you used to be able to buy at the theater. I had all the Star Wars ones.
You know what that made me think of? You remember that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer was doing the movie listings and he told you the movie times and stuff?
Oh, because he was getting the wrong number on his phone. That's right.
That was funny. I just use AMC a list. I just use AMC a list at our AMC, $29 a month and 4 movies a week plus free size upgrade on drinks. Oh, okay. So you got
Saturday morning's got some kind of a club pass.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, well.
Okay, so Robert's gonna go to the theater.
Uh-huh.
Grown Man Run Child Christmas and get home. Yeah. Santa Claus never drink your milk and cookies because he don't exist. It's like these people
He's in the corner.
It's like these people learned nothing. Yeah. Says K Munin from the She-Hulk debacle.
Not just She-Hulk, but the Eternals and pick your comic. I mean, we've seen a bunch of them get bombed because of just a bad film. Didn't work out. But you shouldn't. It's not the stock market. You shouldn't be buying based on that, anyways.
I like what Chi says, and it's true. If you really like the character and you respect the role of that character, it's going to come off better. But now you have these actors, and you can kind of tell they never read or they don't know. At least if you're presented with a role and it's a book involved, you can say, well, I don't know anything about this character. Let me go read up on it so I can know the history, the background, the feeling, the personality, so I can kind of channel that or
Yeah, take your
whatever.
job seriously. Why don't you?
Yeah, and I can put my whole self in that. Not just with, well, I'm gonna make it my own. I mean, yeah, make it your own, but you still got to capture the essence of the person.
Yeah, what made it jump off in the first place? Why
Yeah.
was it important? Why did so many, what made it a cultural phenomenon to cause people to love it so much to begin with? You've got to tap into that. You can't
Yeah.
just say, oh, franchise money.
And I mean, you know, and you can use Joker as an example. You had a bunch of people play the Joker, and they all played him in a way that you like. Now, the only one I haven't seen is the Jared Leto, and I've only heard bad things about the Jared Leto Joker, so I can't say about him. But every one of them played it well, but they all had, you know, you could tell that it was
did
something
it their
that,
own way.
yeah, they did it their own way, but they still kept the essence, I think, of who the Joker was.
Yeah.
Not just say, well, I'm gonna just go off in total left field and do something crazy.
Like Jared Leto. But anyway,
The super Oh, I'm sorry. Blue Splash was saying that the Superman hot toy is nice, but I still won't touch a hot oh no.
well, they're expensive.
You gotta
And
hate for hot
they're
toys.
expensive and they're fragile. But I've used the example before talking about Star Trek. The best Star Trek movie ever made was Wrath of Khan. And the head writer from that really wasn't familiar with Star Trek and went back and watched every episode of the original series to get a feel for it. What is it about this show? And something about the Space Seed episode with Khan in it resonated with him. And then he was like, I wonder if Ricardo Montalban's available. Maybe we should give him a call. I got an idea. You know, he went and did the research and found out, tried to put his finger on the pulse of why it is fans love that show so much. Because he didn't know. Instead of just saying, yeah, I'll just throw together a Star Trek script. Who gives a shit? Which is what we get now.
Yeah, because like, I mean, I saw the Star Wars, the first set, and then, you know, I hear everybody talk about the new like TV shows and how they just drifted totally away from the whole essence, the feel, and everything, the whole rules of the characters and everything. And it just, you're not going to keep an audience.
No, they lost their way. A-Team is a good example of that. The A-Team, really fun show. Last season, you don't know what the hell's going on. The last season, they basically got commandeered by the CIA or something to go on secret missions, and it's like, this is not the A-Team. That's not the premise of the show.
Yeah,
you went off in left field. You added a member. What the hell is going on? It wasn't the same show anymore. It didn't have the same appeal.
I'm really feeling that those masked figures. I really am. I'm not gonna get it. Like I said, I'll look on in 6 months.
It's expensive. It's still expensive.
Yeah, and it's expensive. Of course, it's not as expensive, but it is expensive. And I'm trying to get away from the modern stuff. But like I said, in 6 months I'll look, and if it's like cut in half, because Big Bad's Toy Store does that. They did it with the Super 7 Turtles.
Oh yeah.
Like those waves, they would sell a whole wave for like $200 and some odd dollars. Now you look at wave 4, 5, 6, something like that. It's like $100 or less. So you know, you just wait. Hey David, do you think Mego kind of cooked themselves by making the Marvel figure exclusive? Yeah.
Logic Blaster is asking.
Yes.
The issue with that, though, okay?
Thank you, K Muner.
The issue with that, though, in order to tap into Marvel, which those characters are being controlled by Disney, they may not have had a choice. Is like do it our way or don't do it at all. That might have been the case. It's the same. I go back, and Dr. Migo is going to yell at me if he sees this.
So
yeah, I know. Dr. Migo is, yeah, I don't want to get into it, but because people were wondering why the hell are they only at Target? Remember when Migo Return, new Migo first came out, only at Target, and they're making like Cheers figures and stuff like this. I guarantee you, I can't prove it, but I guarantee you it's because of the Target contract. Because Target, Walmart does this too. Most big box stores have a program where if you're a small operation, they'll front you money to get off the ground, but you can only sell at their store.
Yeah.
And Target does that with a lot of products.
Yeah, they do.
And so does Walmart. But I bet you that was the deal, that Target fronted Migo the money to get off the ground. And they said, well, you're only going to sell here and you're only going to do this and that. And so they kind of had no choice at the time.
That was
because, and then after a period, I think it was 2 years.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's everywhere. And once they broke free of that, and I'm kind of guessing that that it was whatever deal they had between Disney / Marvel Studios.
Hey,
and Edwin's joined us. Whatever kind of deal they have mixed between Disney and Marvel, that they were like, yeah, but you're only going to sell them on our property if you want to do if you really want to do this.
Matt wants to know,
okay,
do you have a decade cutoff for your vintage, like 80, 85?
Not really. I mean, if it strikes me and it's a decent vintage toy, like Earthworm Jim. I used to play that game. I'll get the Playmates Earthworm Jim figures. I'm not worried about it. She's got Exo Squad, which is what, 94, I think, something like that. Fantastic. It's one of Playmates' best toy lines. But no, we don't have a specific cutoff.
No, I mean, I have some stuff. Well, I got some. Not okay. I have some vintage lines that are modern, like Ninja Turtles, Thundercat, He-Man, that kind of stuff. Now, all brand new stuff, no. But I do have, some vintage lines that are modern. And that's what I want to get away from. But then I always say, and it is true, some lines are just expensive, like Brave Star is expensive, Mass is expensive, Cops is expensive. So then when they come out with a new line, you got to be like, okay, if I really want this, am I going to pay, I don't know, okay, like a Brave Star figure, what, $200-$300 for one?
And up,
and up, depending on who it is and the condition.
Carded Brave Star will run you $1,500.
Yeah.
There's one on a card.
So, am I going to buy one figure for $500 or go to Big Bad Toy Store and buy Wave 1 for what did it say, like $300 for the whole Wave 1?
You jumped from Brave Star to Mask.
Oh, yeah.
Watch out.
Mask. So am I going to buy one Mask figure for $300 or the whole wave, wave that includes vehicles and figures? Yeah.
Or like a good example, and this is another one that I recommended, was the Mattel
First Look.
First Last.
Oh, First Last.
Well, the Street Sharks.
Yeah.
Because an original boxed Street Shark, you could pay hundreds for one. But Mattel re-released them in this roughly the same scale, just different articulation, in a similar box, $25 a pop.
Hey, Gabe.
So it's like, if you really into Street Sharks and you just can't do it, even loose, if they're loose and in good shape and some kid didn't chew the rubber off of them, because you see them with teeth marks on them, the loose ones, you do. You see kids get chomping on the street sharks. But if you can't even afford them loose, which is perfectly understandable, that might be a good alternative.
Yeah.
You know, that might be a good alternative as far as modern duplications are concerned. And then there's other stuff that they release, and you're like, but I can get the originals for less.
Yeah.
Like the Playmates Ronin Warriors. The original ones are less than the modern ones that are being produced right now that are damn near 200 a piece. New. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the new trend Saturday morning. At 50 years, 30 years, they re-release. I think they should just re-release the movies in the movie theater the day, on the anniversary of the day they
Anniversary.
came out.
If you had a theater that only did that,
Yeah, it would be packed every week.
and it had all 70s, 80s, and 90s films
Mm-hmm.
that they had their even a rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you that place would be on and popping.
It'll be jam packed.
And put an arcade in there like they used to have in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Remember back in the day, they have like 30 video game machines in the arcade. That place would be jumping every night.
Yeah, see, Blue Splash, if like the LJN
That's
Thundercats,
right.
those are expensive. The Super 7 ones are not bad. I bought the Bandai ones. Well, Bandai only did Lionel
Tigra. They did
Oh yeah,
Tigra, right?
Tigra.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have the Bandai and then the Maddie Club. So those are way cheaper. Even the Super 7s are way cheaper than the LJN. And like you said, to buy one figure, if you don't get a great deal from somebody that's just sleeping, I'm serious, because it's a couple of times I found people sleeping on stuff and got a bang up deal. If you don't get that and somebody is selling it like, okay, yeah, this is the going rate, it's like a car payment or your insurance for the month or something.
Yeah, so that's a good example.
Yeah, I'll pick up some modern Saturday morning.
Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah, Bucky O'Hare. Like I was
those
starting
ended
on
up
that.
at Ollie's.
Yeah, I got like 2 or 3
like
of them.
$5 or $3.99 or something at Ollie's.
You know what's at Ollie's now?
Oh God. Hold on, I gotta get my drink.
Okay. What's at Ollie's now is the Ghostbusters figures. The new Ghostbusters figures. I took a picture and sent it to David, and they're at Ollie's now. So if you're looking for the new Ghostbusters, any fireworks going off in your neck of the woods? Yeah, last night it was. And we saw the picture on Facebook where the drones were making all of the different patterns. That looked pretty good. I would like to see that, up close. I've never seen that before. So I think that would be good. Are you guys excited for the SDCC? Yes. Well, no. The only thing we're excited for, K Munin, is the Cold Slither. If you saw the Friday roundup, we showed the case, the Cold Slither.
Want that Cold Slither vinyl?
I bought that Cold Slither vinyl.
She did.
Yeah,
she did.
I bought that and it was good. I think we should have a clinical discussion on why LPH thinks that, because Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, all of Cupid, them things,
Great Pumpkin,
they ain't real at all. They just a lie to get you in the store to buy toys for your kids, buy stupid Valentines for your wife, hide eggs. Bunnies don't lay eggs, and all of this stuff, and decorate your yard with all that plastic junk. We ain't doing none of that. Not here.
Blue Splash said Muscle Mutts couldn't believe how extremely expensive they are. 1,000 to 8,000 graded.
Oh my God.
Graded though. I mean, I'm not big on graded toys. I'm not.
Really?
Uncle says there's a theater like that in Albany.
Albany. He's in New York. Albany, New York. Wow. I would go to that because like for me growing up, we didn't go to the movies. So I didn't have like the movie experience that a lot of people have. A lot of people, even if the movie theater was around, you didn't have the experience. And now with all of the digital sound and all of that stuff, it'll just be better, or you'll remember it and bring it back. So I
You'd
just
have to
think it'll
have
be
the
great.
screen in the right format, though, and that's
Yeah.
where a lot of those theaters mess it up. And that was the argument that John Carpenter had, because he was actually really pissed when they did a rescreening of the Thing, the 80s Thing, because
Mm-hmm.
the modern screen
Mm-hmm.
is formatted to comply directly with the size of the modern flat screen television.
Mm.
But in the especially 70s and 80s, that wide format
Yeah, they do.
goes out beyond that. So they're
Oh.
cropping these films even in the movie theater. And he was mad because he was like, "Do you know how many weeks we worked on those panel shots?
Mm.
And you're cutting 2 feet off of each side of it in the theater." He was really upset about that. But I get it. I get it. You know, you want to see
Huh.
the whole thing. And it's like, and you could show it with the whole thing. You just have a small black strip on the top and the bottom, just like when you watch an old film in widescreen format.
Mm-hmm.
There's that black strip. I don't mind that if I can see the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I came in and I was at Ollie's Thursday,
Thursday.
and they had the new Ghostbuster, the I can't remember which version, but they had the whole wave, $7. I jumped on a Disney Hulu Plus for two
$2.99 a
ninety
month.
nine 4 months just to see the new King of the Hill. I need to put a
A
post.
post-it note to unsubscribe, says Edwin.
How is the new King of the Hill? Is it funny? Does it hold up to the original?
I
It's
don't know.
retro. You buy the tickets
Outside
outside
from the
from the
window, Uncle
good.
Fun says. That sounds
Yes.
interesting. That sounds interesting. Saturday morning said drive-ins do that sometimes. I've never been to a drive-in
I've been
theater.
to a drive-in twice.
Yeah. No, Robert. I don't know. Yeah, they'll make a slasher film out of anything,
I
though.
know.
Talking about Popeye and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. That's horrible. I don't want to see that. I don't like that kind of stuff anyway.
No.
No, I grew out of that. I mean, when I was a kid, there was,
Yeah.
younger anyway, there was a curiosity about that kind of stuff, but I kind of outgrew it. Now I don't even want to see that stuff anymore.
Yeah, David, it's the Fright Features Ghostbusters. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's at Ollie's right
Ollie's.
now. I almost picked it up. If it was $3, I might would have. Because I saw it and I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh no, I'm not getting that.
That's what I keep telling people, though. Ollie's is the new KB toy store. Because you remember KB's got all that red line stuff
Mhm.
that was dropped from other stores or clearanced out or whatever.
Yeah.
And they put that red line price, which was not handwritten, by the way. That was printed. I don't know if anybody realized that. That was actually printed on there. But
Wow.
that's how they got a lot of their stuff. And now Ollie's is on that bandwagon because they're picking up all that overflow from the big box stores that just aren't moving. But that's always been the thing, though.
Mhm.
There's always been an issue with overflow like that, and they need some place to dump it.
Uncle says that Albany has 3 drive-in theaters. I used to sneak into the drive-in theaters all the time. You got to do was throw a blanket over your back seat.
Said Frankenfrog.
Edwin says all episodes of the new King of the Hill releases in August.
Oh, okay.
So
So he
you're just
hasn't actually
prepared.
seen it yet. Mutant said KB had toys people actually wanted,
That's
though.
true.
That is true, because I used to go to KB all the time. That was my go-to. And
Yeah.
I used to really enjoy that.
Yeah, Ross has some toys too.
Yeah, well, if you want to call it that, you always hear about people finding stuff at Ross, and then you go there and it's nothing but disappointment. It's the truth. It's truth. Oh no.
Let me invite you to my good. Let David come to your birthday parties. He's not gonna bring nothing because he's not gonna bring gifts, and then he's gonna tell you that birthdays are a joke.
Oh no. He can have a birthday if he wants to.
David never had a birthday party.
That's true. I have never had a birthday party.
in his whole
My
life.
mother doesn't. My mother didn't do that kind of stuff. So no birthday. Oh, what are you gonna do? But yeah, you can invite Santa and the Easter Bunny,
Yeah.
and Great Pumpkin and whoever. Tooth
Send them
Fairy.
all invitations in the mail.
And
See
that's
if they show up.
Yeah, see who shows up. That's how you find out if they're real or not.
Robert
I
says,
would be more worried if they did show up.
yeah.
Actually,
No, you know how they're gonna show up? If you do a YouTube video saying, "This is my first ever in the world birthday party, and I really want Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and Easter Bunny and all of them non-existent people to come to my birthday party on this day and time in this location."
And see if Dwayne Johnson shows up. Or Larry the Cable Guy.
He was who?
Tooth Fairy 2.
Oh,
there was a
a
sequel, and they couldn't get Dwayne Johnson, so they got Larry the Cable Guy.
Robert, they sell those comic
no.
packs at Five Below also.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, they sell them at Five Below.
Saturday Morning said all these they do like the $4 graphic novels and manga.
Yeah, it's got all of that stuff.
Yeah.
No Christmas and now no birthday parties. Now I'm bummed out. Yeah.
Munin, yeah, talking about me. Go, because she didn't do Christmas either. But she would tell everybody else, oh well, because his birthday is so close to Christmas, I just put it all together.
Now that's a good way to do it.
And by put it all together, she means not do it at all. I take birthday and Christmas and I put them together and roll them up and throw them away, because that's what happened. She wouldn't do either.
If your birthday comes between Thanksgiving and New Year's,
oh come on.
It all gets mashed together.
Even that's a crappy idea. That's just evil.
Frankie Frog says that Santa is real
in our hearts. That's like if somebody has a birthday on leap year, you only give them a birthday party every 4 years. That's bullshit.
Your birthday is February 29th, and that only comes every 4 years. So you get a birthday every 4 years.
That's right. That's it.
They did a jingle. Oh yeah, they did.
God.
I remember Jingle All the Way too.
Arnold. I didn't see that. I saw the first one. The first one's okay.
That's the one with Sinbad when they were fighting in the store over that toy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I saw that one. I never saw the Santa Claus movies with Tom. No, what was the guy from Two Man Tim? That guy. You remember? He had the 2-time.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He had a Santa Claus show.
Movie. Santa Claus. He was in 3 of them, right?
I don't know.
I think. I saw the first 2. They actually weren't that bad.
Yeah.
They weren't that bad. Robert, the t-shirts are a good price.
Yeah. You actually got to go in there, Robert, to see if it's anything worth getting.
Yeah.
Because only you would know if something is worth
Saturday Morning says Tim Allen.
Now every day is Christmas and birthday.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I've got my own personal Santa. He's only 3 feet tall, but he tries to watch out for me the best he can. I got him trapped in here because the chimney is blocked.
Mm-hmm.
He can't escape.
Yeah, everything celebrates their 50th birthday.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, except for David.
Except for David.
He's gonna celebrate his 60th birthday.
Am I? I gotta wait that long? I have a birthday party with the cats. That'd be the saddest thing. They're sitting there. I bet you,
like the dog birthday party.
I bet you I could film that on. I could film that and put it on YouTube and get 1 million views. Though, poor lonely man has birthday party with only cats. That'll be the title. I bet you 1 million views.
And then you got to put hats on the cats.
Yeah, and the cats will all be sitting on the table.
They will not keep still.
And while I'm sitting there feeding them, I could just do this every once in a while.
And then you feed them like some cereal bits.
Yeah, here you go. Here you go, Daniel.
David is thinking about going to the Toys for All Ages in Pennsylvania late
Uh-huh.
July. It's a vintage toy show. He heard that it's really
Okay,
good.
I haven't heard that one.
Turbo Man. Yeah.
It
You
did get
have
it.
that
It got it.
Turbo
I
Man.
do not have
Oh,
Turbo Man.
yeah, Tim Allen.
Yeah, I had Turbo Man did have an action figure, and it was reissued by Funko. Made a copy of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Made a
okay.
copy of it.
But they made a big one. Oh, Funko did that big one that they were selling in Walmart.
Yes,
That big jumbo one.
it's identical to the original.
Mhm.
Edwin says, "How does the donation button work?" I have no idea.
Yeah, we've never did it.
I don't know how it works.
You had to try it out and see.
Yeah, try it out and see.
Yeah, use your wife credit card number. She's
And
gonna
put 10
love that.
Put 10,000 on it. No, don't get in trouble with your wife.
Ernest Saves Christmas.
Ernest films are fun. Ernest Worrell is the goofy movies, but they're fun.
It was good. The movies were good, but the TV show didn't translate. I don't think. Because you remember he had a TV show.
No, he had commercials.
Yeah, but he had a TV show.
I don't remember
It was
Ernest having a TV show.
commercials. Then it was a TV. Then it was movies because Ernest goes to camp and Ernest does this and Ernest did that.
Yeah.
And Vern. And I think he had a TV show.
I don't remember a TV show.
I know the Caveman TV show didn't do good.
No, that did not pan out well.
It was fine on the commercial, but they should have just left it.
It was too much
in the commercial and just let the commercial thrive and grow the family in the commercial like they did. You remember the Country Crock husband and wife? They were dating, then they got engaged, then she got pregnant.
They were on the air like 30 years.
Yeah, but that whole
you only ever saw their hands.
Yeah, but it grew and you were like, oh man, now they're getting married.
Yeah.
Oh, now she's pregnant and all of this right
and
there.
then people forget all about that stuff, like the guy who Dunkin' Donuts, time to make the donuts.
Yeah,
and,
the Maytag guy.
Mr. Whipple. I've got a Mr. Whipple commercial block up on this channel, including the lost versions, because he had a rivalry with a supermarket across the street, and he had fights with that guy. And I've got those commercials. They're hard to find. Uncle Fun says he has a 4-foot dancing Santa. It's his largest action figure. We got a cat we call Uncle.
Bruce the Shark is 50 years old. I don't know who Bruce.
Bruce is the nickname of the Jaws shark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Saturday Morning said Ernest had a Saturday show.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that. I don't remember it. John says, what do you think about dressing up all the cats as various superheroes? No, I don't like humanizing the animals. You know, I think that's just, for me, it's a step too far.
Yeah.
You know, they're fine as cats. So I don't want to put little costumes on them and stuff like that.
I don't like it when they do that to dogs.
Yeah.
I don't like all that. Saturday Morning says, even for the Ernest show,
Dr. Otto.
Yeah.
They brought back Dr. Otto.
Oh, he had a cartoon show.
Marvel fan has joined us.
Hey, Marvel fan, how are you?
And Blue Flash wants to know if I remember Beekman's World. I do remember, and there was a guy on there dressed as a rat. It was a big rat. I remember Beekman's World.
I remember the name of the show, but I don't think I ever saw it. I don't think I ever saw it. Sugar Bear had a really.
I don't remember Sugar Bear having a cartoon. Was that
the other cereal mascot?
What decade was that? Saturday Morning,
like the 90s.
Because it sounds like a 60s thing to me. And Amigo said Country Crock couple used to get frisky. Yeah, but that's stuff that people don't remember.
Yeah, you remember that. I remember those commercials, but they made the commercials like where you can follow it because they used the same people. They had like a storyline. The people had backgrounds. At least the Country Time people did. Country Crock people did. The Maytag Man had a background. Everybody had a background because they used the same characters.
Pepperidge Farm guy.
I don't think I remember.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, Pepperidge Farm guy, who used to do. He narrated though. That's why. But yeah, nowadays they don't have characters like that. They try, Yeah, I was
Who
right.
did
I
they
guessed
try?
it. I guessed it. Saturday Morning said it was the 60s part of the King Leonardo and Friends.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. It sounded like a 60s thing to me. I don't remember it though.
Who did
But
they try to have
no,
something with?
like yeah, like the gecko or stuff like that.
Mm,
Or mostly it's insurance commercials, but
yeah.
it doesn't feel the same at all. The
Mm-mm.
only one that's even close, if
Mhm.
they continue it, is the guy who has the classes where
Oh, those are
he
funny.
tries to teach people how to not turn into their parents.
Yeah, those
Those
are
are really
good.
funny. If they kept that going for 10 or 15 years, you know what I
10
mean?
or 15
Well,
years.
I mean, when we look back, how long did the guy make the donuts? 30 years in
Oh,
commercials? Or
yeah. The Maytag.
how long was Maytag on there? Since the 60s? Some of these guys, Mr. Whipple, how many years was Mr. Whipple squeezing Charmin?
There's Flo from Progressive. She's been doing that forever.
Raccoon says, but
Yeah.
is it the same? Does it
Be-
feel the same? Or do you
no,
even pay attention when Flo comes on?
because they don't use her as much. They use the other
Mhm.
characters now. And they do things together and all of that. They try to make it, but I like the progressive ones, like not progressive, the insurance, but the ones that they're building on, like the guy, he's the teacher. It's some kind of insurance company. I can't remember what insurance company he's from, but he has the classes, and those are pretty funny. But
Yeah,
then you can relate to what they're doing though. Like when they were
because you
teaching the
know
guy how
people,
to start the fire.
who do that stuff. That's why.
Edwin can't find his wife's purse because she got it hidden from him.
Yeah, that's right. Newsflash, been
Oh,
watching
what's
Dark
Dark
Shadows. We
Shadow?
got is it
It's
no Dark
downstairs.
No, Dark Shadows is upstairs.
Where are you in Dark Shadows? We got pretty far and then it got tedious. So I had to take
Yeah,
a break
you got to
and
take
then
a
I
break
forgot
from it.
about it. So I might have to go back to it. I'm gonna have to jump ahead because it hits walls and you got to either push through or go around. And right
It
now,
was tedious when that girl went back in time.
yeah,
I was like,
that got
oh,
tedious. That got
please,
very
yeah,
tedious. And now where I left off at, Angelique came back and
again.
she did that dream curse. And Adam is there and it's like you got like two tedious stories going on at one time. Adam, and he knows the secret of Barnabas and he got to tell that secret. And it's like, oh boy, this is a bit much.
All right.
Ronald McDonald had he had cartoons.
And 6 direct-to-video 90s specially. A Saturday morning, he hosted a couple of holiday specials.
Really?
Yeah.
We saw one.
Yeah, we did
We
see
did
one.
see
We
one
did see
last
one.
year.
Marvel fans remembering Parquet.
I remember
It's not butter,
Parquet.
it's Parquet.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
bucket used to talk.
That's right.
Yeah, even a caveman can do it. Those commercials, the caveman commercials were good, but the TV show, no.
Saturday morning says they're bringing back Kool-Aid, but they softened his voice up. That's not the same. That's not the same. Hey, Kool-Aid. And Ray is here. He says, enjoy your coverage of the big shows. You were photographed in the panoramic picture at Toylanta, featured in the Toy Collectors magazine.
Really?
The crown stands out. Was I?
Hey, Patrick.
Patrick is here.
We got to find a magazine.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody will know who I am.
Oh, okay. You in season 1. Okay, so you're
Episode
still
20.
now.
You haven't gotten to Barnabas yet.
No. So you're still when they're trying to find out who killed Mr. Malloy.
Yeah.
You're still in the black and white era.
There you go.
His name was Fred, I believe, says Matt.
There we are. So this is the
Mac and Me.
This is Mac and Me's hard to watch. And Sight
Beyond
is
Sight.
here.
Hey,
fan.
Sight Beyond Sight. How are you?
But this is how I'm recognized. But Saturday morning said Macho Man is in Slim Jim ads again, using old footage with new footage.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I've been bringing this to the shows that we've been doing, so that just for the hell of it. because if I don't, people ask where it is now.
And people think he's somebody too.
Oh.
No, he like, who are you? Because people will come up, who are you supposed to be?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm David, the king of toys.
No, but I have had a couple of people ask, what's the crown about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just tell them,
I miss the beer commercials. Those were funny. The shit smoke liquor bull Miller like commercials.
They changed the commercials a lot. Munin says if you find the magazine, make them pay tribute.
Oh my
That's right.
God, no.
How dare you, sir? Do you know who I am? That's what I need to do. That's
No.
right. You must pay tribute.
Who the King Vitamin Crown?
Vitamin Crown, the old cereal. Yeah, the old cereal. I don't know. It's just, it's just a basic like.
We found that at Value Village.
Yeah. It's just a basic like play crown, acting crown, whatever. But I just I found it at Value Village. It was cheap. And I was like, hey,
I did convince him to get that.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, maybe I could wear it on the live stream just for the hell of it. John says David needs a shirt that reads Imperial Margarine. Do I? Imperial Margarine. That's a different shaped crown. The Imperial Margarine goes like this, and it has the little cross in the center.
He's gonna get a T-shirt that says King David, King of Toys, with his face on it.
Toy King. That's right.
Yeah.
With
David, the Toy King,
with my face on it, looking all stern. I get fold my arms like
Batman does.
Yeah, the
66 Batman.
Adam West Batman, when he stands there and he does this. It's like,
what are you doing? And he's just,
his arms.
He's standing in the Commissioner Gordon's office with his arms like that.
Yeah. Saturday morning says crowd goes along with the King from Mr. Rogers' Puppet. I think his is different. That is King Friday the 13th.
Yep.
And his wife, what's his wife's name?
I can't remember.
Queen Saturday the 14th.
Oh, really? Yeah. I don't think I ever knew her name.
And what was the prince's name?
It was a prince?
Yeah, they had a son.
I don't know.
Prince. Who knows it?
I remember they had a platypus.
Yeah, and the platypus family.
Yeah, they had Daniel Tiger.
Daniel Striped Tiger with his little watch.
Miss Mary Elaine Fairchild.
Yes.
Wasn't there an owl?
There was an owl, X the owl.
X the owl.
And his roommate, who lived next door to him in the tree, Henrietta Pussycat.
Oh, yeah, I remember Henrietta. Because everybody lived in a row, so you had to remember.
Yeah, you walked around.
Yeah, I think the platypus was the last one.
The platypus was forward because you could change positions.
Oh, okay.
And then there was a Clockwork building, and it was Cornflake E specially.
I don't remember none of that. I don't remember that.
And they had Bob Dog and Bob Troll, who were the same actor, and he would just change his costume because he was full-sized.
Oh, man, you remember all that. I don't remember that. That name, Bob Dog and Bob whatever, sounds familiar.
And
but
Raccoon remembered the name of the child. She is correct.
What was the name? Tuesday?
Prince Tuesday. Because they skipped.
She looked that up on Google.
Oh no!
I'm messing with you, Rick.
Oh no!
David is not wearing no shirts. No.
Filthy peasant! How dare you? Oh no! Do like
Prince Bob.
No, like what is it on Home Alone? Yeah, filthy animal. When he turned the TV way up and scared the guy with the pizza. Yeah, Migo never knew that was the Queen's name. Saturday the 13th.
I don't ever remember them saying her, and I remember King Friday.
Which Batman dance? Because there's the Batman dance that he does when he tries to scare people too, and he flails the arms with his capes like this, and you remember the guy? The commissioner had him behind the desk. It was the interview room. and Batman runs in and waves his cape like this, and the guy goes, "There's bats in here," ah! and faints. And then Batman was like, "That miserable coward."
Saturday Morning says, did
Oh.
you know Mr. Rogers met the 70s show Incredible Hulk in an episode to teach kids about acting? Hulk met Mr. Rogers.
That's right.
Was he?
I saw
So
that
Lou
episode.
Ferrigno was on there
Lou
dressed
Ferrigno.
as the Hulk?
Lou Ferrigno was sitting in his trailer.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
And
Now, I
Mr.
remember
Rogers
the
came and talked to him.
mailman that came by sometimes.
What was his name?
I don't know. But I remember the mailman. He came by sometime. He didn't come by all the time.
Mr. McFeely.
Mm.
Mr. McFeely, though, came to Mr. Rogers' house.
Yeah, to deliver the mail.
He came
Oh,
a
he
lot.
came a lot?
He was on a lot. He
Oh.
occasionally would show up in the neighborhood of Make Believe to deliver a letter.
Oh, okay. Something happened.
Saturday Morning wants me to get a King Randor t-shirt. She would wear it if I got it. So, I have a King Friday. I have a King Friday. But yeah, if Mr. Rogers, that's why Big Bird was never on Sesame Street. I mean, not on Sesame Street, on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah, you said they had a thing with that.
He wanted to come on. They wanted to do a crossover and bring him on, but Fred wanted to it to be demonstrated that this indeed is a puppet. There's a man in here, and this is how he does it, because he exposes make-believe. When they go to the neighborhood of make-believe, it is understood
that this is
we're in there with puppets. We're just playing.
Yeah.
Okay. And the people from PBS were like, no, we're not going to do that. You know, we're not crossing that line. Yeah, that's right. Ray,
keep the
Ray.
change.
Keep the change. That's right. Yeah, filthy animal. John says Electric Company show had a daily Spider-Man segment. Starting in what, season 3?
Oh no, I don't remember.
I forget
Spider-Man.
when they started doing that, but yeah, they started doing the Spider-Man. Where are you coming from? Spider-Man, nobody knows who you are. And that comic book is highly sought after now.
You got a bunch.
I have a handful of those, yeah. Saturday Morning says Rogers did 2 crossovers on Sesame Street with 2 episodes, however.
Okay, he didn't go on there.
He was on there, but they didn't come to him.
No, because they weren't. So Lou Ferrigno, they showed him painted up and without the paint.
I think he was getting his makeup put on. If I remember correctly. Is that right? Somebody might know better than me. That he was in, because he used to have to sit in a refrigerated trailer, so his makeup would melt. And which probably sucked, but you know,
because he had
an acting job is an acting job.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he just had on those whatever those were on his feet, because sometimes he had on these
you could see it sometimes. Yeah, them slip-on shoes that were green. You could see it
depending
sometimes
upon the terrain. Yeah.
I liked it, but it was too sad because he could never just
David Banner's character was very sad.
He was too I can't think of it now, but he wouldn't. Everybody knew who he was, and they were fine with it, and he wasn't fine with it. And it's like, just stay there. Everybody likes you. They know who you are. They know they're not trying to hurt you. That you're not trying to hurt them. He just couldn't. He just couldn't get it. Yeah, Oscar was on the Electric Company.
He couldn't get past it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't get past it. So it was his issue, his depression.
Yeah.
And he's running away. He basically is running away. And then they show him at the end hitchhiking.
Yeah, with that.
And they play that song. Who knows the name of the song? What's the name of the song?
The Lonely Man.
You're right. That is correct. The Lonely Man is the name of that song.
Yeah.
You get a kudos point. You get a slice of cake.
I don't eat cake.
Oh, well, then you don't get no damn cake. I don't have any cake anyway.
No, you don't.
You can have a slice of pizza.
I want no darn pizza.
You don't want the pizza?
No.
She don't want pizza either. There's no pleasing you.
The Incredible show was a pretty dark in hindsight, especially when you compare it to Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman was goofy.
Yeah, because
it was meant to be goofy.
We actually went back and tried to watch the Incredible Hulk because I liked it as a kid. I didn't realize how depressing it was.
Mhm.
It was way too depressing. I couldn't take it. I was like,
It's
this is
good
too.
writing though.
Yeah, it's good writing, it's good acting. The stories were good, but it was just so darn depressing because he couldn't get over himself.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't need to do that. It's unnecessary.
And he was too he is afraid for the wrong reasons, because the Hulk character doesn't do anything when he's unless he's provoked.
Yeah.
And he must have realized at some point that he's actually helping these people.
But the people told him that. It was like, I remember the one with the blind girl, and somehow or another the Hulk came, but he helped the blind girl and everything and got her to safety and did all of that. And he knew that the Hulk never hurt anybody,
Yeah.
but he was always afraid that he would.
Yeah.
And that was just not the case. Lou Hulk also met Knight Rider.
An A-Team on a crossover episode of Amazing Stories. I don't recall that.
Yeah.
I don't recall that. Migo's having trouble with his phone's keyboard.
It's insane.
Was it that autocorrect? That's why, and it wants to tell you what you're saying.
I know.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
always
problem.
that way.
All that AI stuff is a pain in the butt. It doesn't work, but they want it to do your job.
AI gonna be the downfall.
Oh yeah.
Of society.
That's because nobody watched Colossus.
Colossus came out in what, the 60s, right?
1971.
Oh,
I
really?
think. Colossus. If you've never seen it, Colossus: The Forbidden Project, and it's the film. The people who did Terminator took Colossus and Westworld and merged them into one film. Colossus represents Skynet, and Westworld, Yul Brynner's character as the gunslinger, represents the Terminator. Okay, this unstoppable killing machine. That they merged the concepts to create Terminator. But Colossus: The Forbidden Project, that's what it's about, is AI. Basically, this computer just decides, all right, enough with you people. I'm done. You're going to do it my way. And actually, the original film warning about that was Metropolis, the silent film.
Man, Metropolis was really good. I finally saw it. I was kind of scared to see it because it was silent film, and I don't like anything with subtitles, honestly.
Yeah.
But I watched it, and they said that it was what, like 2 hours worth of footage missing,
Was
that
lost.
It got damaged. 2 or 3 hours that got damaged, and it was still a long movie, but it didn't felt that way. It didn't feel that way. And when you watch it, even though it was a silent film, it was a lot of context in there. It was a lot going on. It was a really good movie, and I wish it didn't lose that 3 hours that they lost.
Sure.
I really, because if you look at it as is, you're like, man, what were they going to tell us in that 3 hours that was missing? Because a lot was told in the footage they had.
There was a lot of context.
Yeah, and another really good movie, silent film, was The Man Who Laughs. Oh man, that was good.
Whose characterization the Joker was based off of. Physically.
Yeah, the physical look.
Yeah, the look.
Not the, because when I saw it and I saw the face, I was like, oh, that's where they got the Joker from? Because the picture looks like one of the Joker covers.
Yeah.
But then when you watch it, you're like, oh no, they didn't base the Joker on this guy. But it was a good movie, but boy, it was sad. But it was really good, and it was a silent film. And it's all on, I think, Amazon and Pluto.
Yeah, and the other ones I could recommend that she hasn't seen yet is the original Nosferatu, and then Foolish Wives. Foolish Wives is pretty good, actually, for a silent film.
The Forbin Planet?
Forbin Project.
Oh, Project.
The doctor's name was Forbin. Colossus, the Forbin, not Forbidden.
Okay.
Forbin Project is what he was saying.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I remember that the Incredible Hulk TV show had changed the name of the main character to Bruce Banner.
From Bruce Banner to David. I'm not sure why they used David Banner,
Wasn't David the name of his dad?
David Bruce Banner. I'm
Mhm.
not sure.
I don't know.
I don't
why they did
remember.
that.
I don't
Maybe
remember.
they had a problem with Marvel.
Blue
or something.
Splash asked about the Snowcat. I forgot to show the new Snowcat on the last roundup.
Roundup.
I'll have to get to that. But yeah, I haven't really looked at it too closely. But I'll tell you what, everybody's going to buy 5, and that means that you'll be able to get it cheaper later.
Oh, it's a Hasbro Pulse.
I think it's a HasLab like deal like that, right? I didn't get a good chance to see or get a good look at it.
Remote Control Man episode. Guy with magic remote brings Hulk face from A-Team, Gary Coleman and Kit to the real world.
Really?
On what show that was on? Incredible Hulk.
No, it was on that show that he mentioned earlier. I forget the name.
Oh, silent films are weird, but they are worth watching.
But that was the essential warning of Metropolis, because the robot was supposed to infiltrate the Union, but decided to do its own thing because it wanted to create chaos and destroy them all. So it was warning about machines infiltrating and influencing society. And so way back in what, the 20s, they were already worried about it. And here we are. And by the way, in case anybody's keeping track, the Elon Musk's AI training station is called Colossus. That's the Colossus building.
I wonder how far the AI is going to go. I know they were talking about Elon Musk making the robots for your home, like in iRobot. Remember iRobot? Everybody had a robot in their home to be like the maid or whatever. And I know they were talking about he's doing that, making like the human style ones so that you can bring them in your home to help out.
Yeah.
I wonder how far all that's going to go.
I don't know, but I mean, they won't be very strong. Those machines are weak, but I mean that would be smart
to keep them weak.
Yeah, to keep them physically weak so they're not as much of a threat if anything goes wrong.
Yeah, but then there'll be like that episode of Outer Limits where the robots took over each family. You remember they had a robot in each family and they whipped everybody into shape.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They were no longer dysfunctional families. According to George, the TV show
Google.
Oh,
Matt says, according to Google, the TV show changed Bruce to David to differentiate the show from the comic.
Oh, okay.
I guess that makes sense, because then people will be like, why can't he jump like a mile in the air?
Or why he not always angry?
Yeah. Saturday Morning says all the tech and still no teleporters to Hawaii or flying Jetsons cars. We have flying cars. They're called helicopters.
That's not.
It is the same thing. I mean, and could you imagine? You can't even drive up and down the street without some nitwit damn near causing an accident. Can you imagine if everybody had a helicopter? Plus, they're noisy. They're loud. Even the drones are freaking loud. If you could make a drone car, it would be, there's too many irresponsible people for that to work. Robert says have them look like Megan or Megan Fox or Data. Oh, please.
Yeah, but then that'll get real weird. But you already got people like that.
Didn't you see that episode of what was it, Futurama?
No,
with the makeout robot. How did that work out?
They've had plenty of movies like that, and that's what it'll end up because people are like that.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, they already make
dolls
like
stuff.
that, right? Yeah, so I mean, that's
why
just
not a robot?
Stone's throw away from that whole concept going in that direction because people are weird.
To each his own,
I guess. I don't know what to say.
On to the next one.
Oh man, on to the next subject. Here we go. So Toy Collector Magazine? I'll have
Mhm.
to look for that. Where was I? I haven't seen that.
Truth is stranger than fiction. That is where we get a majority of our fiction.
This is Pastor Rick. That's
Mhm.
right. Yeah, Saturday Morning Johnny 5, Robbie the Robot.
Mhm.
Robbie the Robot was in that episode of
Twilight Zone, right?
Twilight Zone, the Brain Center at Whipple's. Is that the one? And everybody got replaced, including the guy who was in charge.
Yeah, it was that episode. Frankenfrog. Rod Serling said, "Don't let the machines take men's job." He said that back in the 50s.
Yeah, that's why
And-
the original Twilight Zone is so important.
Mhm.
Why they've never been able to recreate it, because the original Twilight Zone, the stories are still relevant.
Mm.
They're still relevant. You could watch it and relate to it.
Yeah.
It's not outdated.
No.
Also, the acting is fantastic.
And the writing.
The writing is really well done, and even the cinematography
Mhm.
is excellent. Especially because you had to be good in black and white. You couldn't screw that up. So those episodes, they still hold up. They still stand.
Yeah.
So when they try to recreate the Twilight Zone, they blow it.
Every time.
Yeah, it's just not good, or
Yeah.
not as good.
Yeah, because you got a couple of episodes that weren't bad.
Yeah.
But it speaks to the writer when you wrote something in the 50s that still relate today. And I mean relevant. You can watch it and everything that's in there is relevant to today. You didn't have to upgrade it or let's freshen this up. Only thing you would do is like the technology instead of the type of cars or like computers and stuff. You would upgrade that. But the wording, nothing needs to be upgraded for the original Twilight Zone to fit today.
Yeah, because you can relate to it watching the shows. Saturday
Not
Morning
really.
said Robbie was in an episode of The Addams Family trying to replace Lurch. That Robbie costume got around. It was in a lot of shows. We saw it recently in a Linda Carter Wonder Woman when they went to the sci-fi convention.
Oh yeah.
Season 3, the sci-fi convention. There was Robbie the Robot was there.
The robots can guard our collections from thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to be able to defend, not just say stop, or I'll call the police.
Stop in the name of love.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Stop,
we need
drop,
defense.
and roll. Well, I wanted
we need to be weaponized.
He need a Dalek. Dalek patrolling. Exterminate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least use man at arms freeze ray.
Oh no. No, that's not the freeze ray. It was the beam ray. That's why that always pissed me off every time when we saw that episode. Oh, I'm going to be testing my new beam ray. And it's like, can someone tell this man, scientist, inventor, a beam and a ray are the same damn thing? That's like saying that.
Yeah, but freeze ray sounds better than freeze.
They had
beam.
freeze rays too, but he had a beam ray that he was testing in that episode, is what he said. My new beam ray. Oh, really? That's like if I said that, I have a pet feline cat. It's the same thing. What the hell are you talking about?
David is going to call his robots horde troopers. Are they going to be weaponized? Are they going to be able to hit the target? Are they going to be like on He-Man and not hit the target? They're going to hit everything else but the target.
Pastor Rick likes the obsolete man from the Twilight Zone.
That was
with
good.
Burgess Meredith.
Mm-hmm. That was a good episode.
As the librarian. That's right. Migo says, crazy how many things in Star Trek, the show didn't exist back then, not only exist, but in some cases are dated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tablets, cell phones, all of that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff.
AI will push people to the skill trades.
Until those skill trades are obsolete.
Yep, because the robots can do the skills.
Yeah, some of them can. Some of them can. They've got a robot that puts up drywall.
Yeah.
They got a robot that puts up drywall, and it's followed by another robot that paints it
Yeah, you get that mess done quick.
flawlessly.
And you got the robot that cuts down the trees. He not only cuts them down, he cuts it up.
Yeah, and then eliminates the stump.
Yeah.
I mean, they some of those jobs are getting replaced, so you got to be careful.
And you already got robots in McDonald's and other fast food restaurants flipping your burgers.
Well, they've had you mean the Flippy? Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a company, it's called Flippy, and they flip the burgers, and they get another one that operates the fryer, and they have another one now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they debuted it in New York. It makes the entire burger. It makes the entire burger and then sends it down the conveyor.
I wouldn't get a robot at all, Robert. I'm fine the way I am. I can do my own whatever. I don't need a robot.
I would get one of those vintage crazy 80s robots, like the one from Rocky 2. So just because it's a toy for the museum, something like that, but not an actual robot.
Oh yeah, don't forget the batteries. Well, don't forget batteries not included robot and the black hole robot.
Black hole robots.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't mind that. Vincent from the black hole.
Mm-hmm.
You remember him?
Yeah.
Roddy McDowell did the voice. That
yeah,
it's
our lives as I've already.
Yeah, the AI is very intrusive, and it's wrong. It's really wrong. Munin says, didn't you mention restaurants in the area automated? Do automated? Not automated, but replacing the cashiers. Like Steak and Shake, there's nobody there.
No. McDonald's.
McDonald's is still struggling with it.
Yeah, you can still get up to that counter at McDonald's. Though.
But you can't at Steak and Shake anymore. And they still want a tip.
Yeah, they still got the nerve to ask you for a tip.
After you finish putting your order in, it wants to know if you want to make a gratuity.
No.
20%, 30%, 0. I don't see a person, 0.
Yeah.
Okay. And then some of those other restaurants, I don't know if they're doing it out here, but like Denny's and stuff, they've got the robot server. It's a roving cart that comes and drops your tray off.
They got that in hotels. I was in the hotel and I called downstairs and they were going to send up something. They was like, okay, we're going to send it up to you. And the robot thing, they put it in the head and it came up, and then on the TV, it flashed robot at the door. And I opened up the door and the robot was there and the head came open. I think it was a key or a remote or something. It was something in there. And I took it out and it closed and it took off.
And they also have robots that clean hotel rooms. I've seen video footage of it.
Oh yeah.
It'll clean hotel rooms. They got one that cleans and sanitizes public bathrooms. So
and
yeah,
you probably need it for some of them public bathrooms. Yeah, they can get kind of bad.
There you go. But I couldn't. I don't know. People think, and then they say, "Well, yeah, you're going to get." That's because people are going to get all these great tech jobs. How many techs do you think they need?
No.
I was replaced by a robot. Remember, that's how I lost the job at Frito-Lay.
Yeah.
Because they got rid of us and they didn't bring in any techs. They got rid of over 100 people, bringing in. And I wasn't even working in those departments, but the union had a bumping policy, and I was low man.
They bumped you for a robot.
Yeah, well, they had a bumping policy. The robots, the packing, they brought in a row of packing machines, and it replaced 96 jobs because it was 31. Is that right? Yeah, 32 packing machines, 3 shifts, 96 jobs. But and I was working as a skilled processor, and I was in the back, but because of the bumping policy, somebody who's a senior employee can take your job from you if you haven't been there that long.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So somebody who couldn't run my department ended up in my department. And I got the door for a robot, and they didn't have no tech jobs were created. They had they had engineers from Norway, which is where the robots were made, came to the factory to teach the existing mechanics how to operate the new machines, or how to repair them. So no new jobs were created at all. They just threw people out. And that was just one Frito-Lay. How many of them are in the United States?
Yeah, and
So
you see those
it's not creating jobs.
you see those commercials like on Amazon, and they say, "Oh yeah, AI is coming, and now you can go back to school and become a tech IT person and all of
No.
this." But anyway, we're getting off of toys and TV shows and movies
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and that's
I
what we're
like
trying
toy
to talk
robots. You know, those 50s wind-up robots are a fortune now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're hard to find, especially the Japanese ones.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday Morning says Pac-Man's 45. Played more Pac-Man or missed Pac-Man? I was never really that much of a fan of the game.
Really?
Pac-Man? No.
Mm-hmm.
Not really so much. I used to like Dig Dug. I used to play Dig
I
Dug.
played Dig Dug.
Yeah, the guy who digs down in the ground and makes tunnels, and he
Mm-hmm.
has an air pump.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play Dig Dug. I used to play Bosconian with a C.
Mhm.
Bosconian.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play Moon Patrol, and I was exceptionally good at what was the name of that game? Xenophobe. Xenophobe. I could turn that over.
Mm.
Xenophobe I was really good at, but I was never that big into the Pac-Man.
Oh, okay.
I was never that big into the Pac-Man.
I wasn't good at video games like all that, especially the kinds like Pac-Man, Mario Brothers. I wasn't good at that type of game where you can make the Pac-Man, he eat the dots, but then he can also eat the ghost. I can never do that without powering up. But I didn't play Pac-Man that good. I can never get Mario to like kick the turtle to keep getting points. I could not do that. I just did not know how to do that.
Oh,
I mean, I
man.
was good at stuff like Tetris and Wheel of Fortune. Things like that.
Yeah.
I was good at. What I can't understand is robots in the middle of the streets delivering stuff.
One that I played a lot of in the arcade
Mm-hmm.
that was harder as a video game was Elevator Action.
Mm.
I've got it on Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I also got Xenophobe on the Nintendo, the NES.
Mm-hmm.
The NES versions are harder than the arcade was, and I guess it's because you're doing this instead of using the controls.
Mm-hmm.
With the controls, I think it was a lot easier. Also, I used to play in the arcade Golden Axe 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I could finish the game with a perfect score without getting hit even one time. In the arcade, I can't do it on the Sega Genesis because it's on Sega Genesis. It looks just like the arcade, but I guess because it's thumb controllers, I've never been able to do it without getting hit.
I'm not good at video games. Like I said, I can play Tetris pretty good. That's about it. Stuff like that. But if you got to jump and like eat people and do all that, I was good at like Tekken and Street Fighter, that kind of stuff. I used to like Tekken and Bushido Blade, but I can't do all of that stuff. Well, my mom loved Cubert
and Centipede. I played Cubert on the Atari.
Mm-hmm.
That's an Atari 2600 game. And I played Crystal Castles on the Atari a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And geez, I'm trying to remember some of the older ones. Oh, and Atlantis,
mm-hmm.
which was basically Missile Command.
Okay.
But and Yara's Revenge.
Kung Fu Arcade.
I remember Kung Fu Arcade. I think I have that. Berserk or Robotron, Robert says. Berserk. I remember Berserk, and you had the two that was complicated in the arcade because you had the two joysticks.
Mm-hmm.
One would control where he went, and the other one would control the direction of his shooting.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to navigate them both without messing them up.
Yeah, we watched Super Friends.
Blue Splash asks, Super Friends, I liked
Crystal
it better.
Castles.
I liked it better with the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, the Legion of Doom was fun. When those twins came, it got dumb.
Yeah, it got stupid.
Saturday morning like Tron.
They were useless anyways. The twins were absolutely useless. Let me see.
Yeah.
I know I got elevator action. This is the one he was talking about. Hold on. That's the
Space Invaders. Now I can play
the
Space
Kung Fu.
Invaders. That's the one with the ship and you just go side to side and you just shoot the I can
Space
do that.
Invaders.
Yeah, I was decent at that. Challenge of the Super Friends was that season. Oh, okay. The season with the Legion of Doom was good. I like that. Now they were saying with that new Superman that he's in the same universe as the Justice League. So
well, you see the Justice League right there. You saw Guy Gardner.
Oh, he's in the new Superman?
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, you saw Guy Gardner and Mr. Terrific or whoever the hell he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess they're gonna do a no Justice League with that guy instead of Cavill, Henry Cavill. So that means they're gonna bring Ben Affleck back to be Batman.
Check this out. See if anyone recognizes this. That right there, Panic Restaurant, that's one of the most expensive Nintendo cartridges for the NES that you'll find, because they had to recall it almost immediately because of some kind of a copyright infringement with the music.
Pastor Rick liked Time Pilot, Rampage. Main thing was pinball. His biggest thing. So he was a pinball wizard.
Okay, look at this.
Gallagher was great too. What?
Okay, is this the one? Yeah, right here. One of the
Oh, okay. This Superman is before the Justice League. Oh, okay. Yeah, they got too many universes with too many things going on.
That's for the Sega Genesis. One of the greatest video pinball games ever made. The Dragon's Fury.
How you play pinball on the video game machine?
You the two selected buttons. Mm-hmm. One is the left paddle, one is the right. But it's an extremely detailed game, and it's one of the few games from Sega Genesis that will save. So you can stop and get back to it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because if you're doing good with it, to finish this game takes days. It takes days to finish it.
Okay.
It's actually pretty complicated.
Saturday morning played pinball with Mario as a kid on the NES also.
There's a good one. Get the glare.
Can't see that.
I'm trying.
Global Gladiator.
Yeah, this is McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's had a game?
Yeah, and Ronald is in this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Global Gladiators. It's kind of fun.
Uncle says those lunch boxes on the shelf look awesome. I'm going to steal that decor from my apartment. Oh, yeah, go ahead. We still got a lot to do. We still got to paint the room and put our posters up. But, you know, over time, that'll come little by little.
Maniac Mansion. I don't think I have Maniac Mansion. No. Saturday morning wants to know if I have Maniac Mansion.
I don't have no
think
Maniac
so.
Mansion.
What's the Low G Man? Low G Man, Low Gravity Man is another one I used to play a lot of. It's pretty cool. And Gods for Sega Genesis. Gods is a good one. But yeah, I've got, a lot of the old consoles back there. You can see GameCube, you can see Nintendo 64, you can see the Sega Genesis back there, and then Nintendo NES and all of that. PlayStation 2. I do have an Xbox 360, but that's the oldest system I have.
Mm-hmm.
Not really interested in getting another one. Robert says have an original Xbox, PS2 and 3.
Mm.
And
Hey,
Richard is here
Richard.
from Yonkers. Richie from Yonkers. No,
That
I
good
tease.
man.
I tease. Yeah.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Echo the Dolphin. Sonic and Knuckles. Yeah, I've got a bunch of Sonics, including the Sonic Spinball, which is a pinball game with Sonic the Hedgehog, which is tough. That's very tough, especially finishing it. You get to that last board, it'll take you like an hour to finish it. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Richard loves it when people say Yonkers. They that's like when people find they hear I'm from Boston and they want me to say park the car. And they're like, no, you didn't do it right. I'm like, yeah, I did. I'm not from Revere Beach or South Boston. I say park the car. I say Harvard Yard, not have a yard or pack the car. That's Revere. That's Revere Beach. That's Southie. That's South Boston. They talk like you're talking about Cliff Clavin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I I didn't grow up in those neighborhoods, so no. Munin says Sonic has a lot of popular sought-after games. Yeah, I've got a bunch of Sonic games. Ray says Halo Xbox number 1, 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy how much these things cost.
that Panic Restaurant. That's why I showed the Panic Restaurant, and I've played it. It's actually kind of funny. It's pretty cool because it's a little chef and he's fighting food that runs around and trying to kill him. It's hilarious. It's kind of like Burger Time, but Burger Time is more along the lines of Donkey Kong,
Mm-hmm.
the way it's set up. But yeah, Panic Restaurant's kind of fun, but they got in trouble for the music and it was pulled. Yeah, Richard, wicked smart. Say wicked smart. Is that what you're looking for? Anyways, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. So, and we started late today too. Anyway,
yeah,
we're almost at the 2-hour mark. So we're going to go ahead and start signing off. Special thanks to Pastor Rick and to Robert, who made donations to the Cat Fund today. Much appreciated. Thank you for that, guys. Every little bit helps. Always appreciated. Thank you, everybody else, for joining us this evening. Hope you had a good time. And we will catch you again sometime soon.